Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about the Viseart Brow Palette. This is what it looks like. In this video, you're going to see some swatches. You're going to see me compare it to a comparable palette from another brand. I'm going to demo the palette on my face, on my brows, eyes, and face. And I'm going to check in throughout the day so you can see how it wears for 12 straight hours without any kind of touch-ups. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Jessica Lee Rojas. You can tag me in photos and use the hashtag CakeFaceFam. Definitely consider subscribing to get more makeup content like this from somebody who has more of a painting background. And if you like or dislike this video, please give me a thumbs up or thumbs down so I can see what kind of content you guys prefer. Okay, let's get started. This is an all-in-one brow palette that you can also use on your eyes. Today I'm going to show you how I used it to do not only my brows, but my eyeshadow and my contour. I think that this is a really great multi-purpose palette. I will say that if you are looking into this palette mainly for your eyes, I might direct you to their original matte palette or one of their other palettes depending on what your shade preferences are, because they blend a little bit differently than this palette does. This retails for $80, and I know that sounds like a lot, but you are getting 12 amazing shades with quite a bit of product in them that will last you many years. You can't beat the quality. I'll have some information on this in the description box, so check that out. But right now on Muse Beauty Pro, there is a special deal with this palette where you get free brushes with the purchase of this palette. So like I said, these three shadows here are actually wax-based creams. They've got an emollient texture and are not at all powdery. These 9 down here are brow powders. It comes in their standard packaging, which is a plastic hard case with some information on the back, like the name. The palette opens by lifting this edge. Depends on the person whether or not they love the Viseart packaging. This older version, I have a couple palettes that have cracked by the hinge here, but all of their newer palettes they're putting out with their magnetized Slim Pro packaging. If the brow palette came in that, I'd like it ever so much better because it's a little more hard wearing. However, I do love the Viseart packaging. As a person with more of an art background, I really appreciate the utility of the products and how streamlined, effective, and efficient, sensible the packaging is. I love the arrangement of the shades. It makes a lot of sense to me. You've got your light tones, medium tones, dark tones, your cool, neutral, and warm tones, everything you would need to do anybody's brows. And you also have 3 cream wax-based base products. So use the wax-based creams up here, and then you layer with the powders. And the reason you want to do that and why this is such a great product is because when you lock the two together, when you layer them, it lasts, it looks perfect, it looks like real brows, it grips onto your skin so well. So this palette is something I would definitely recommend to somebody with alopecia who's losing their brow hairs, anybody who's losing their brow hairs from anxiety. You know, some people pull their brow hairs out. Anybody who's aging, has thinner brows, wants to fill them out. Anybody like me who just naturally has patchy brows. Or if you have really nice brows and want to lightly fill them in, but you like to change up your look. So a lot of people like to do bolder brows when they do bolder eyeshadow and soft natural brows when they go work on a day-to-day basis. And a brow product like this will give you all the options you'll ever need. So I'm gonna do some arm swatches just so that you can see how they lay down. Swatches are not that great an indicator for how products actually apply, so just keep that in mind. Especially, you know, it's primarily a brow palette. It's not really meant to be as pigmented or as maybe blendable as an eyeshadow. The main thing is how it looks mimicking brows. So those are all 9 powder shades. I'm going to show you the creams on my hand here. These are a lot less meant for actually swatching. You can get the idea. What happened here? Well, I pulled too hard and it skipped some of my skin. So you can see sort of the texture when I apply it heavier like that, and the color, how it builds up. So I'm going to share with you a comparable product. This is my Sena brow book, which is one of the reasons I kind of held off getting the Viseart, even though I really wanted this for years, ever since I started loving makeup. This is the reason. And let me show you comparisons. And I'm going to tell you which one I like better and why. You'll be able to see how similar they are in shade selection. Which, I mean, these are professional brands, so there's a reason that they're similar, because these are the types of tones you need when you work on other people. So on the top 9 squares on both palettes, you've got powders. This one here is still a powder, but we've got a wax base that essentially is clear, like translucent, whereas these have actual colors to them. The reason I love the Viseart and would recommend it quite a bit more is the Sena Cosmetics has a beautiful selection, but the formula is just not as long wearing. They both market these products as, you know, for brows, and also you can use them for eyes. But the Viseart wears much longer on my skin type when I sweat, and it ends up being much easier to apply, because when you've got this clear base, you can't see it as well where you're applying it, and it doesn't go on as creamy as the Viseart. You have to work harder, because then you have to build up all your color with your powders, and the powders aren't as pigmented. So let me show you a couple of swatches from the Sena. I'm not saying the Sena's bad by any means, because it's really also a beautiful palette and one I have used a lot. But look at that, compared to the Viseart swatches, they're just like, look at that right off the bat. Not that swatches really give you the best indication, but they're smooth, they're pigmented, they're easy to use, and on top of that, you've got the much easier to use wax-based cream bases, and so it's so much faster. I often don't pick up my Sena because I know it's going to take me a hot minute to do my brows. Both palettes will give you beautiful brows, but I know the Viseart will give me faster, beautiful brows. It's just, I'm going to use it way more. I'm just being completely honest. It's kind of like mascara to me. Like, I have to do it, and it's not as fun as eyeshadow, so I don't really want to spend much of my limited amount of time to do my makeup doing just my brows. I definitely recommend the Viseart. It's better than any brow powders. And the creams too. The creams are better than any brow wax creams I've tried. And I've tried some in pencils, I've tried some from different brands. These are a little bit more intuitive. They go on creamy, they set really beautifully with the powders. It's, for this type of brow look and for this type of process, you can't get anything better in my opinion. I know I look super greasy, but I put like a really thick layer of moisturizer and I'm letting it sink in and marinate my skin because I woke up feeling like I was a crackly old person. So that was unacceptable. I'm going to start with the cream base products, which are these three. And I'm going to take one of my B15, and I actually have been starting with the lightest cream shade. It looks fairly gray in the pan, but it comes off really nicely. I like to mix cool and warm tones on my own brows because my coloring is very neutral. And from here, it's fairly intuitive. You just want to basically cover your entire brow with the cream. So I'm covering the whole brow, you know, shaping the brow, all of that. And before I move on to another shade, I like to catch up my second brow. Okay, so once I'm fairly happy with the shape, I like to go into the second deepest and build up where I have more sparse areas, just a little bit, namely the tail end of my brow. I go into this deeper shade. I don't always do this, not on a daily basis, and really perfect everything. I even like to brush the hairs backwards to make sure I'm filling in the gaps that won't get covered. The wax needs to stick mainly to your skin. Smooth out the wax a little bit. So for my particular complexion, I like to go in with this shade first. I'm going to draw in brow hair strokes. Now, it's okay if they look a little harsh and unrealistic at first because we're going to blend that all in. Lightly brush through my brows again. This is my Chikuhodo eyebrow brush, and I actually like to go into this really light shade here. With this step, I'm lightly covering the whole brow again. And the brow wax really holds my hairs in place nicely, like a gel would. You don't really need a gel at the end. Like I said, you don't need all these brushes. This is just what I honestly do, and I can do this in a minute flat. It's so fast and easy once you just get used to it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a simple eye look using the powders in this palette. I'm going to start with my S33 Esom brush. I love this one, as you guys know very well. I'm going to go for this middle shade, that warm, lovely rich brown, and pack that onto the outer edge, kind of bringing it straight up. I'm going to go one step deeper and put that right on the lower part of that same area. This shade here, and blend on the outside of that. Now with a clean Esom W35, I'm going to take my Pat McGrath loose translucent powder and blend around the look. Going back into that more green toned shade, this one here, and my S33, I'm going to reapply that first crease shade with my Royal Langnickel Omnia BOM49 definer brush. I'm going to take this dark shade. I'm going to stamp this along the lash line to give a nice liner. Really getting in between the lashes. I'm going to take this tiny fluffy brush from Peaches and Cream, PC47, this lightest shade here. I'm going to put a little bit underneath the lower lash line just to blend it in with the top part of the eye look without really smoking out the lower lash line. I don't want the look to be too heavy. Now this palette is super pigmented, so this next step is not necessarily the way that they market this palette to be used, and it's not necessarily like the easiest product for it. I'm going to take the Eyeshadow X52 brush and go into this shade right here, this one, and just carefully do a little bit of sculpting on the face. You guys know I really like to test the versatility of products. And to warm things up a bit, I'm going to mix it with this warm shade. To complete the look, I went ahead and threw on some mascara. Okay, so I forgot to tell you guys what time it was when I was applying my makeup. I'm pretty sure it was around 10:30, 11 o'clock. I know I left the house before 11:30, so I wish I checked for sure like when I did my brows exactly. But right now it is 1:50 p.m. Right? I mean, I have tough brows, right? Because they're very patchy. They're very, like, I like to change the shape, and it looks really nice. It photographs really well. A lot of times the issue with powders are that they fade, right? It's much harder to get them to really stick. I spent about a half an hour outside in, how hot is it today? It's over 80 degrees. Yeah, take a look. This is my 3-hour check-in, no touch-ups or anything like that. I won't touch up for the rest of the day. But yeah, the only thing that I touched up was my lipstick because I had sushi and that wore off strange, and I thought it looked ugly once it wore off in weird spots. So I did touch that up, but I will not touch the rest of my face, so you can see the contour, the eyeshadow, the brows, everything as is. I'm going to be running around doing some errands, and I'll probably spend a little more time outside too, so it'll be a really great day to show you guys this wear test. Hey guys, so it has been officially 12 hours, probably a little bit more now, and this is the state of my affairs. I really love it. A little bit aware, and Ryan pointed out there was something weird going on right above my brow, so I don't know what was up with that. Oh, there's more. Probably from all the swatches I was doing today. I probably smudged something on my face. But this is what it looks like. I'm really tired and I want to go to bed and wash my face and all that, so I'm like, I was waiting for this moment. Now keep in mind that I do have a dry skin type, so if you're oily, it's gonna wear off easier than it would on my skin. Also, if you touch your face a lot. But I am very happy, and I think that the product is beautiful and professional quality, so I think I'm going to leave it here. You guys know my thoughts and can see what it looks like. I hope it was helpful, and don't forget to subscribe if you are new to my channel. Help me reach 4,000 CakeFace family, and catch you in my next one.